My name's Gunnar Grodiget, and attending Kirkwood was in my plans for a while. However, I wasn't quite sure where I was going to live. Some of you may not have lived in Cedar Rapids before attending Kirkwood. I myself didn't, and thought I'd share my thoughts on that with you. I used to live in Waukon, Iowa before I moved down here. Waukon is a small town in the northeast part of Iowa. I should give you a little background on where I used to live and why I moved to Cedar Rapids before I talk your ear off with what I think of this city now. I used to live in Waukon, which is roughly 88 miles from Cedar Rapids. I lived there for about 18 years before I decided to move down here and move in with my dad. I moved to Cedar Rapids to attend Kirkwood and get my degree and hopefully get a job with my dad at his work, Esco Automation, which is also here in Cedar Rapids. Moving here was something I decided to do to better myself and better my future, and it was an interesting thing to do. The first big thing that was different was the traffic. I'm not a very confident driver. I had to get used to the more tough traffic and the more packed roads. The best part was that there is more than three places to eat here. The place I used to live only had Hardee's and just some small town little restaurants. The one thing that I'm still getting used to is finding my way around Cedar Rapids. I usually end up getting lost. I usually either end up on the wrong side of town or I'm 3 blocks away from where I'm supposed to be. Getting used to living in Cedar Rapids was pretty easy for the most part, despite what I thought beforehand. Now what I think about it is very different. I really enjoy living here. For the most part, everybody I've met has been really nice and interesting. I've met some of my best friends here at Kirkwood while in my automation classes. One of my favorite things is trying new places to eat. Up in Waukon, there wasn't very many places to eat, like I said earlier. My favorite places to eat now are a place called Rock Bar, and my favorite type of food is sushi. And we never really had any chance to try that before I moved here. Mainly, I think moving here was a good choice. I have made a lot of friends while here and done stuff that I never would have done if I stayed in Waukon. In the end, I'm glad I moved to Cedar Rapids. The stuff I learned and the friends I've made will be things I remember for a long time. Where I used to live, what it was like to move here, and what I think now have been something I've always wanted to share with people. I'm glad you all stayed around to listen. Now that I shared my experience, I'm curious about you guys. If you didn't live in Cedar Rapids before you moved here, where did you live, and besides Kirkwood, what were your reasons for moving? This was my experience on moving to Kirkwood from a small town. It has been both fun and difficult at the same time, but in the end, I think it was 100% worth it.